Do you believe every word of this book? And I mean specifically this book that I'm holding in my hand.
Very interesting presentation of some of the questions in that format. Fox News contributor and Democratic strategist Bob Beckel joins me now. Bob, a fair question?
Yeah, actually, I think it was a fair question. Look, the Republican presidential candidates and most of the Republican candidates for the Congress have made God for the last 30 years a part of their campaign team. You know, Rudy Giuliani has been out saying on the campaign trail that he follows the Bible. It's a guide for him. He reads it every day. So it may be an unusual question, but frankly, if you're going to play that game and you're going to bring God into your campaign, you're going to have to expect to answer some questions like this.
Giuliani responding to that question that you just saw, whether he believes in every word of the Bible. Take a look.
Well,
do I need to help you out, Mayor, on this one?
What was it?
I said, do I need to help you out on this one here?
You want me to help you out? Wait a second. You're the minister. You're going to help me out on this.
I'm trying to help you out.
Okay. The reality is, I believe it, but I don't believe it necessarily literally true in every single respect. I think there are parts of the Bible that are interpretive. I think there are parts of the Bible that are allegorical. I think there are parts of the Bible that are meant to be interpreted in a modern context.
Oh, boy. Okay, that opens up a big can of worms. Very interesting response from Rudy Giuliani and also from Mike Huckabee, volunteering to help out. So, Father Jonathan, when you hear Rudy Giuliani, a Catholic, say, well, some of it's allegorical, some of it's this, some of it's that, what do you think?
Well, he lost one vote at least, and that was the guy who asked the question, because he very clearly said, okay, with a nuanced answer, but for that guy, what he said was, I don't believe completely in the Bible. What he should have done was got some help. And if he had gotten some help, he would have said, I believe in the Bible as the Word of God. At the same time, the Word of God needs to be interpreted because we're just humans. And he might have gotten that vote. And he would also be saying the truth.
You know, it's interesting politically, Kellyanne, because there's, you know, obviously different forms of Christians and different kinds of believers in our country, as there should be. Some believe very word for word in exactly what the Bible said, and others don't. So how does this divide, you know, Republican voters in terms of what they think of Giuliani on that answer, do you think?
That was Giuliani's version of Hillary Clinton's, I don't know how I feel on illegal driver's licenses.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
I disagree with that.
See, I can
the men with no hair disagree.
Finish, guys. Let her finish, men with no hair, as you called yourself.
Do you go to church on Sunday?
Yeah, I go to church during the week.
There, right.
It's across the street from my office.
Anyway, that's called moral relativism. And I think what gets him in trouble is people automatically say, you mean you interpret it to fit your lifestyle. In other words, he believes in same-sex marriage.
Like
the Bible says
Catholic,
a man shouldn't
right?
lay with a man. He's been married 3 times, all of that. He's committed adultery, allegedly, all of that. So, but people in the Republican primary already know that about him. I just thought it showed in an unguarded moment how does a leader respond. And I thought Mitt Romney's answer was one of the best.
All right, you guys, let's get Huckabee's answer in. We're just going to get Huckabee's answer in, Mike Huckabee's answer, and then we'll keep talking. Go ahead.
Sure, I believe the Bible is exactly what it is. It's the word of revelation to us from God himself. And the fact is that when people ask, do we believe all of it, you either believe it or you don't believe it. But in the greater sense, I think what the question tried to make us feel like was that, well, if you believe the part that says, go and pluck out your eye. Well, none of us believe that we ought to go pluck out our eye. That obviously is allegorical. But the Bible has some messages that nobody really can confuse and really not left up to interpretation.
Dr. Keith Ablow?
Well, listen, I think, you know, a large number of Christians in this nation also feel, as Giuliani does, that certain parts of the Bible need to be interpreted according to modern context or to figure out what they mean in your personal life. I think it would be very dangerous of him to have said, yes, absolutely. I think he would have lost a huge part of the population who said, you believe it word for word, every single word.
Real quick, Mother, Rudy Giuliani answered that question in a commonsensical layman's point of view. He's not a reverend. He's not a priest. He answered it the way a person on the street would answer it. You interpret it the way it needs to be interpreted, but you don't believe every single word, like Huckabee just said.
Quick thought from Bob Beckel. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, that may be right in terms of a general public and the population, but we're talking about a Republican primary here. And in those Republican caucus goers in Iowa and New Hampshire, I've seen a lot of them, they believe they're literal interpreters of the Bible. So Giuliani, from the standpoint of politics, made an error by answering that question the way he did.
He made an error by being honest. He just said he made an error by being honest.
Well, maybe he did. He's talking about a political error. He's saying it might not help him in Iowa, is what he's saying.